Hi everyone, it's Mrs. Bebo. In this video, it's part 2 of our video series on commission and fees, which are a type of percent problems that you will see in your 7th grade percents unit. So in this example, we're going to be taking a look at fees. It says Sabrina bought some paper supplies from an online retailer. The retailer charges a $6.95 shipping fee or 8% of the total purchase, whichever is greater. If Sabrina's total purchase is $85.50, how much shipping will she pay? So basically we're trying to compare the two costs here, the $6.95 shipping fee or that 8% fee, and whichever one's greater is what Sabrina's going to end up paying. So the only math that we have to do in this question is figure out what 8% of the total purchase is. So with that being said, this is going back to just solving a basic percent problem where you're looking for either the part, the percent, or the whole. When I'm looking at this phrase, 8% of the total purchase, this piece right here, the of the total purchase, that's telling me that that's W. And then obviously the 8% would be my percent. So we know the total purchase price. In the question, it tells us that it's $85.50. How much shipping we're going to pay in that scenario is going to be the part. So I'm going to set up an equation, but you are also welcome to set up a proportion where, again, all the values are going to be the same. The only difference is that when you use the proportion, you don't have to worry about changing the percent into its decimal form. So I'm going to use an equation though, just because I find it to be a little bit quicker. Again, I am solving for A, and then my percent is 8%, but we're going to rewrite that as a decimal since I am choosing to use the equation in this one. And then we're multiplying that by $85.50. So typing that in my calculator, an answer of $6.84. So the 8% fee is cheaper than the flat $6.95 shipping fee. So how much shipping she's going to end up paying then, she's going to end up paying that $6.95 shipping fee because it does ask you to do whichever one is greater. So with these types of questions, whenever you have to compare two items or two costs, make sure you're double checking. Does it say greater or least? In this case, we're looking at greater. And then that's it for that question. So taking a look at another one that's very similar, we're going to look at fees. And this one says that one online marketplace will let you sell an item for a flat fee of $12.50. Another one charges a fee of 15% of the selling price of the item. You want to sell a video game system for $80. If you sell a video game system online for $80, what is the lesser fee? So different than last time, right? The last example was which one was the greatest. That's what you're paying. In this case, we're going to pay which one is the lesser fee. So again, we already know the one fee, $12.50. We're comparing that to the 15% of the selling price. So again, that phrase of the selling price, that is telling that the selling price is W. So the selling price here is going to be W, and then obviously the 15% is our percentage. So they do tell us what our selling price is, and so now all we have to do is figure out what our fee is. So in this case, A, when we set up our equation. Or again, you could set up a proportion, totally up to you. I'm just going to do the equation since it tends to be a little bit quicker. So again, we're going to write our percent in decimal form, 1500ths. We're going to multiply that by 80. And then 1500ths times 80 is going to be $12. So now comparing the two fees, $12.50 versus $12, the lesser fee is you paying 15% of the selling price. So the 15% fee is the lesser option. All right, so in these next two examples, we're going to take a look at a little bit more complicated ones involving commission. On this first one, it says David is starting a new job in sales. He can choose to earn only a 10% commission on sales each month or earn a monthly base salary of $1,500 with a 3% commission on sales over $7,500. Which pay method would earn him more money if he had an average sales of $16,000 each month? So David gets to choose, and you would want to choose the one that has the most money that you're earning. And so we're going to take a look at both of these scenarios. So we have this 10% commission on sales, and that's it, right? There's no other criteria with that. It's just the 10% commission. So setting this one up, again, we can do our equation, A equals P times W, where we're trying to find the amount of commission in this case, because you're just earning the 10% each month. That is going to be how much you make. So the 10%, written as a decimal, can be 10/100ths or just 1/10. And then W is going to be that $16,000 that we're hoping to sell on average each month, right? The $16,000 is our sales. And so if we do 10/100ths times the 16,000, we're going to find that A is equal to $1,600. So that's how much you would make each month if you chose option 1. Option 2 says, well, you will get a monthly base salary of $1,500 and a 3% commission on sales over $7,500. So we get a base salary with a 3% commission on sales over $7,500. Now, with this piece, we do have to figure out how much we're actually making commission on, because in option 2, you're not making the commission on the entire $16,000. It is only on the amount that is over $7,500. So we need to do $16,000 minus $7,500 to figure out how much money, again, you're actually getting commission on. So subtracting those two values, we're going to find that David is going to make commission on $8,500 worth of those sales. With that being said, now we can move into our next step. So now we can actually say, all right, I'm making 3% commission on that $8,500. And then multiplying that out, you get $255. Again, this is not my final answer though, because that would be a very small amount to be making each month. He also makes that base salary. So to figure out how much we're making in option 2, we're going to take our base salary plus the amount that we've earned in commission, and that's going to end up being $1,755. So the pay method that's going to earn him more money if he had an average sales of $16,000 each month is going to be that second option. So option 2 is the better choice. And that's it for that question. So last one, same kind of idea. So Nina has a job in sales and earns a monthly salary of $725 plus 8% commission on her sales over $10,000. Her brother Jared also has a sales job and earns only a commission of 8% on his sales. One month, Nina and Jared each have sales of $21,300. Who earned more money that month? So we had to figure out how much Nina made based on that amount of sales, and we also had to figure out how much Jared made. So we have two different situations going on here. So we're going to go ahead and start with Nina's. So it says she earns a monthly salary of $725 plus an 8% commission on her sales over $10,000. So very similar to the last question, we have to figure out how much commission she's actually making, because she's not making commission on all of that $21,300. She's only making it again on the amount that is over $10,000. So for Nina, we're going to be looking at $21,300 minus the $10,000, and so she is getting commission on $11,300. So now when I set up my equation, A equals P times W, so A is equal to, again, 800. Since I'm using the equation, I do have to change my percent to its decimal form. And then W is that 11,300, because that's the amount that she's actually making commission on. And so when I do 11,300 multiplied by the 800ths, we end up with $904. And again, that's not my final answer, because she does get a base salary. So she has this monthly salary of $725, plus she gets the amount that she makes in commission. And so she makes a grand total of $1,629 for that month. So Jared now, his is a little bit easier to calculate because he's just a straight commission, 8% on his sales. So his is based on that total $21,300. So A is equal to, again, P times W. A is equal to 800ths multiplied by the $21,300. And so we're going to find that that is going to end up being $1,704. So who ends up making the most out of the two of them? Ends up being Jared. So Jared would be our final answer on this one. All right, and that's it for this video series on commission and fees. I hope that helped. Thanks for watching.